Okay, so we're in the middle of chapter 4. Jonas is having a chat with Larissa, an old woman that he's helping get clean. Okay, they're talking about the ceremony of release that happened this morning. We're in the bottom of page 40. Jonas laughed. He rinsed her left arm, laid it back into the water, and began to wash her feet. She murmured with pleasure as he massaged her feet with a sponge. This bathing experience is very nice for Larissa. But Roberto's life was wonderful, Larissa went on after a moment. He had been an instructor of 11s. You know how important that is. And he'd been on the planning committee. And goodness, I don't know how he found the time. He also raised two very successful children, and he was also the one who did the landscaping design for the Central Plaza. He didn't do the actual labor, of course. Now, Larissa is explaining to Jonas what happened at this morning's ceremony of release. There was a man called Roberto who had a very interesting life. And she's explaining to Jonas what happened in his life. Now you're back. Lean forward and I'll help you sit up. Jonas put his arm around her and supported her as she sat. He squeezed the sponge against her back and began to rub her sharp, boned shoulders. Tell me about the celebration. Okay, so every time someone from the house of old is released, they have a celebration. Now Larissa is going to explain to Jonas what happens at the celebration. Well, there was the telling of his life. That is always first. Then the toast. We all raised our glasses and cheered. We chanted the anthem. He made a lovely goodbye speech, and several of us made little speeches wishing him well. I didn't, though. I've never been fond of public speaking. Okay, so the first thing that happens at the ceremony of release is the telling of his life. Then they toast, right? L'chaim. Then we chant the anthem, the hymnon. Then the person being released makes a lovely goodbye speech. And then anyone else who's present can also make a speech. But Larissa doesn't. He was thrilled. You should have seen the look on his face when they let him go. A look of happiness. Jonas slowed the strokes of his hand on her back thoughtfully. Larissa, he asked, what happens when they make the actual release? Where exactly did Roberta go? She lifted her shoulders in a small shrug. I don't know. I don't think anybody does, except the committee. He just bowed to all of us and then walked, like they all do, through the special door in the releasing room. But you should have seen his look. Pure happiness, I call it. Okay, so no one knows what happens to people when they are released. All they know is the look on their face is one of pure happiness. Jonas grinned. I wish I'd been there to see it. Larissa frowned. I don't know why they don't let children come. Not enough room, I guess. They should enlarge the releasing room. We'll have to suggest that to the committee. Maybe they'll study it, Jonas said slyly, and Larissa chortled with laughter. Right, she hooted, and Jonas helped her from the tub. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 4. Basically, they make a funny joke that, I wonder why children aren't allowed into the releasing room. They're not sure, and they say maybe we should tell the committee to change the rules. And then they laugh because it's a funny joke in the community that it's very hard for the community to ever make changes. All right, see you later.